Yo, how many people are counting out Mike Perry? Isn't that interesting?
I'm not counting him.
Bro, it's wild to me. And then in all the comments, like, oh, dude, you must think it's bare knuckle. This is boxing. I'm like, oh, you don't know what a dog Mike Perry is.
Yeah, he's a pit bull.
You need to do your goddamn research.
Mike
There's
Perry,
no quit.
He's a game-bred pit bull.
Mike Tyson has predicted the winner of Jake Paul versus Mike Perry, reportedly saying that Jake is going to get hurt in the upcoming fight. Both Paul and Perry have actively promoted the upcoming fight, but they might have crossed a line recently. A video clip has emerged showing the two engaging in incoherent chatter.
Oh, brother, let me tell you what they're gonna see. Let me tell you what they're gonna see, Michael Perry. You listen to me, brother. You're going down, flat into the ground. When I get my hands on you Saturday night, I'm gonna eat you in one bite.
The video was excerpted from an MVP face-to-face segment and posted on Paul's YouTube channel. In the accompanying Instagram post, Paul added the caption, "Shout out to Hulk Hogan," providing context that clarifies the video's content. They seem to be emulating the iconic wrestler to hype their match, yet instead of animosity, a friendship appeared to blossom. Numerous Instagram comments highlighted the striking similarities in their personalities. All of that will be thrown out the window on Saturday, but after the last bell sounds, there probably won't be any animosity between the two. The eagerly awaited bout between Jake Paul, a YouTuber who has transitioned into boxing, and Mike Perry, a middleweight competitor in the bare-knuckle fighting championship, is on the brink of becoming a reality. Jake recently posted another video on Instagram, highlighting his impressive power and precision. His rapid movements and strong punches suggest he might have the upper hand against bare-knuckle fighter Perry. Yet, with Mike's extensive experience and training since he was 11, the outcome remains uncertain. Meanwhile, Paul aims to intimidate his future adversary with this intense training session. Whether Jake Paul can truly defeat bare-knuckle combatant Mike Perry is still up for debate. Every day, more people get excited about this battle, expecting a great fight. Jake Paul boasts an unbeaten 5-0 record against former world champions. On the other hand, Mike Perry's traditional boxing record stands at 0-1, but he boasts an impeccable 5-0 streak in bare-knuckle boxing. Perry has enjoyed considerable success in BKFC, achieving victories over ex-UFC champions Luke Rockhold and Eddie Alvarez, both of whom he defeated within 2 rounds. In a video highlighting his agility and accuracy, Jake is captured in the midst of an intense training session, delivering powerful and precise punches atop the ring. In the latest installment of DAZN's Jake Paul vs. Mike Perry MVP Uncut Episode 2, viewers are treated to an exclusive look as Jaleon Love, Paul's coach, navigates the intricate process of adapting strategies and emulating Mike Perry's aggressive fighting approach ahead of their highly anticipated boxing showdown. Love says on MVP Uncut, "We gotta do some quick adjustments, bring in the right sparring to mimic Mike Perry, or at least give us a look of Mike Perry. He's a hard guy to go find guys to get to simulate his style. He's a brawler type of guy." Love thinks Paul, though, did a good job adjusting to the change. Love continued, "But the transition was not hard at all, man. Jake is not your ordinary guy. He has a brain that's very savvy, catches on to, learns quickly." He went on to say that Paul's group can adjust to whatever Platinum throws at them on Saturday night in the ring. Love added about Paul, "He makes adjustments. If Mike does something that can be successful for him, we know how to adjust really quickly to take it away." On the other hand, the two titans of combat sports recently collided head-on, sparking intense excitement. But what unfolded during their face-off? Perry laid into Paul with a barrage of cutting insults. It seems Perry believes Paul's punches lack the punch to rattle him. And talk about going for the jugular with those eyeball-digging memories? That's some seriously fierce intensity. Conor McGregor couldn't help but notice the verbal clash, as Perry's bold words grabbed his attention on Instagram. With Perry preparing to showcase his skills against the YouTube sensation turned boxer, the looming question persists. Will he deliver on his brash promises when July 20th arrives? During their face-to-face confrontation, Mike Perry didn't hold back. He taunted Jake Paul with sharp words, saying, "Your little baby green punches can't even reach my brainstem, bro. I am gonna dig through your eyeball and find your memories." This vicious trash talk attracted attention right away. Conor McGregor was compelled to get involved. He posted the quote from Perry on Instagram. With a personal endorsement of his own, McGregor wrote, "Bare Knuckle FC in the house." The excitement surrounding this fight has escalated significantly with McGregor's endorsement. Originally slated to face the iconic Mike Tyson, Paul faced a change of opponent when Tyson had to withdraw due to an ulcer flare-up. Perry quickly stepped into the spotlight, injecting fresh energy and intensifying the anticipation surrounding the event. With Perry's unwavering confidence poised against Paul's devastating knockout prowess, fans are anticipating a clash of titans. Adding to the excitement, the undercard boasts thrilling matchups, such as Amanda Serrano facing off against Stevie Morgan in a high-stakes women's super lightweight bout. During their pre-fight build-up, Jake Paul and Mike Perry added a quirky twist by engaging in the viral English or Spanish challenge during their face-to-face interview, but with a surprising fighting-themed adaptation. Whoever moves first loses the fight, Jake declared, setting the stage for a tense but humorous standoff. During an extended moment, neither fighter flinched, unmoved by the interviewer's attempts to spark dialogue. The quietude shattered when Jake pointedly accused Perry of making the initial move. "I was mocking you, bro," Mike retorted, contesting Jake's claim amid a comical exchange that sidestepped the usual interview question. In response to Mike Perry's strange threat directed at Jake Paul, his impending opponent in boxing, UFC middleweight Chris Curtis responded. Perry's remarks quickly spread across social media, embodying his famously unpredictable persona. When MMA Junkie posted the quote on Instagram, UFC middleweight Chris Curtis seized the opportunity, chiming in with the following response in the comments. Curtis said, "I really wonder if he's trying to be threatening if that's just how Mike Perry thinks memories work. Either war, Mike Perry." Perry is determined to expand his platform further, aiming to build on his success beyond the UFC. A victory over Paul would bolster his already impressive resume. Hearn stated that he believes Mike Perry's only chance of defeating Jake Paul in their boxing battle is by going outside the clear rules. Hearn told DAZN, "Perry's only chance is to break his legs. Mike Perry is a welterweight that I think was in the UFC at middleweight, and the fight is at 200 pounds. He has absolutely no chance." Moreover, Hearn mentioned that Mike Perry is likely a very tough opponent, particularly at 160, 170 pounds, but emphasized that giving away 30 pounds is not feasible. He noted that while Jake isn't exceptional, he is physically imposing, strong, and can punch a bit. Hearn expressed his belief that Jake would stop Mike Perry. The rematch featuring Tyson has been rescheduled for November 15th, airing exclusively on Netflix from AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. However, Hearn is already skeptical that the Tyson bout will ultimately go ahead as planned. Hearn said, "The Jake Paul machine works when he's in a big fight. There's some interest in Mike Perry, and if the Mike Tyson fight does happen, which I don't think it will, I'm sure that will do big numbers. But he needs a dance partner. He's stuck between a boxer and an influencer." Hearn further remarked that the influencer fights would generate more money for Jake. Although Jake seeks credibility in boxing, Hearn suggested that Jake is not genuinely willing to take on a proper boxing match. He added that part of Jake wants to establish himself and gain credibility as a boxer, but he can't fight anyone too skilled because he would likely lose. Their exchanges on social media have been fiery, filled with verbal jabs and taunts. Surprisingly, it's the elder Paul who seems to have thrown a wrench into the bout's certainty. Before accepting the challenge from the problem child, Platinum was considering a bare-knuckle showdown with Danis. Despite earlier tensions, Perry clarified that he and Danis were on good terms with no animosity. It seemed a fight between them was imminent, didn't it? In the lead-up to his clash with Perry, the problem child caused a stir on Instagram with some bombshell revelations. He didn't hold back. Danis took to the IG stories and wrote, "Funny how obsessed the Pauls are with me. Me and Perry had a fight and a lock-signed contract on my end, and someone leaked it to Jake Paul, so he went and sabotaged it. It's okay though. It will do like 5 PPV buys like Diaz and Jorge fight. I'm the king of this." It goes without saying that Danis used force against the Paul brothers on several occasions. He even referred to them as fake brothers at one point. Months before the highly anticipated showdown between Logan Paul and Danis came to fruition, the ex-Bellator contender made a memorable appearance on the Full Send podcast. During the episode, Danis shared intriguing insights into their unique family dynamics. Notably, Andrew Tate also chimed in on the matter. During the interview, Danis claimed, "Jake is fake, I think. They're fake brothers, like Andrew said, go at each other in a way that real brothers wouldn't. They oppose each other, like opposing forces. You can't let him bring in Prime when he lets him bring something." This made Danis and the Paul brothers even more enraged, which ultimately resulted in a brawl. Teddy Atlas, the seasoned boxing coach, holds a singular conviction on how Mike Perry can triumph over Jake Paul in their impending showdown. Speaking on his YouTube series, The Fight with Teddy Atlas, the 67-year-old pointed out that Paul's larger physique poses a formidable challenge for Perry. Atlas emphasized that Perry must strategically manage the gap between himself and Paul to optimize his chances for victory.
And I'm saying that in an admiring way. He's a savage. Guy is as tough as they come. The problem with him is that he just walks in. He doesn't give a damn. At least he acts that way. I mean, as Mickey Duff would say, one of the great boxing guys and one of the guys that was very close to me, he gets insulted if you miss him, you know, and he takes everything. He's got a chin of granite, but every chin of granite starts to chip after a certain amount of punishment.
Paul stands 3 inches taller than his BKFC middleweight champion rival, who measures 5 feet 10 inches. Yet, this height difference is only the beginning. When it comes to reach, Paul doubles the gap between them. Atlas emphasized that Paul's 76 reach gives him a significant edge over Platinum, who boasts a 70.7 reach. He added that the YouTuber boxer plans to leverage his jab to control the distance and unleash his powerful straight right when opportunities arise. That's why the boxing coach stressed Perry's need to master the intermediate distance. He insisted it was crucial for the ex-UFC welterweight to navigate past Paul's jabs, emphasizing that victory hinged on closing the gap effectively and landing decisive blows. Atlas stated that Jake Paul would be able to use his jab to keep Perry at a distance and set up his right hand, preventing Perry from getting too close. He noted that the only way Perry could win was by closing the distance and getting close to Paul.
UFC champion, but Woodley was a fighter. Woodley was good. He was a champion. He was beyond that, obviously, best part of his career, the prime of his career, but there was still an element of danger, and he was a smaller guy than Paul. But still, he went in there, and in the rematch, Paul was able to catch him with the right hand and stop him. I believe that Paul will be able to use his jab to try to keep Perry out at a distance where he can set up the right hand, keep Perry from penetrating the range, which is the only way Perry can win.
Atlas's counsel underscores his confidence in Perry's ability to triumph over Paul in the ring. However, the problem child risks a critical error if he insists on securing a knockout win come July 20th. In the realm of combat sports, bare-knuckle boxing emerges as a raw and unrelenting counterpart to its traditional form, shedding the protective layer of boxing gloves. Perry, reigning supreme as the BKFC middleweight champion, thrives on enduring relentless strikes. His flawless record in BKFC stands testament to his enduring stamina and grit, indicating his ability to push through to the final bell. Therefore, even amidst the formidable power of Paul's punches, Perry's resilience suggests that knocking him out might be a feat beyond reach. Paul's technical prowess as a traditional boxer gives him an edge in landing strikes more frequently than Perry, although these strikes may not inflict significant damage. His 5-inch reach advantage over Perry further bolsters this advantage. Therefore, Paul should focus on precise strikes and maintain a safe distance from the BKFC champion to maximize his chances of success. Meanwhile, Jake Paul claimed he was crazy when hinting at a future showdown against Mike Perry in a bare-knuckle fight. Perry isn't buying it. After the announcement of their upcoming boxing match, Paul expressed keenness on potentially challenging Perry to bouts in MMA or bare-knuckle fighting, asserting his ability to defeat the 32-year-old veteran in any arena imaginable. Paul said on the MMA Hour in June, "I want to do an MMA fight, and I think Perry is actually a good opponent for MMA and maybe bare-knuckle. I haven't thought about it, but I'm down." Perry didn't waste a moment before agreeing to step into the ring against Paul, especially after Mike Tyson's health issues pushed back their scheduled match to November. The ex-UFC fighter, now a BKFC sensation, dismisses the notion that Paul would entertain the idea of facing him bare-knuckled. Perry told MMA Fighting, "One thing I want to remind Jake over and over again is that he wouldn't do a bare-knuckle fight, whether he says he would or not, especially after this fight in 10-ounce gloves. He wants to bring it up like boxing is this incredible sport, and these hooligans are out there doing this bare-knuckle stuff. I'm going to beat him with 10-ounce gloves on. He definitely won't want to do bare-knuckle after that." Paul would undoubtedly face a significant challenge in a bare-knuckle brawl against Perry, but Perry finds himself grappling with a daunting challenge against Paul in the boxing arena, conceding significant size, weight, and experience to the social media star. Perry disagrees, but up until fight night, he has no trouble taking the underdog position. Perry explained, "I have accolades that the rest of his competitors did not. I'm 6-0 in the last couple years. I fought a pro boxer who had a really good record and a lot of experience in the ring, and that was 7 2-minute rounds." Leading up to the bout, Paul has consistently forecasted his expectation to deliver a devastating knockout to Perry, much like how he swiftly defeated his last 2 opponents in the boxing ring. But Perry added, "I've sparred Jake before for free. He tried to pay me, but I told him I didn't want it. I didn't want that money back then. I was trying to get more work and more experience, but that was back when I was still in the UFC. I've just been working towards this, and it's a great opportunity for me and my professional boxing record. In addition, Perry highlighted a stark contrast. Although Paul had easily dispatched 2 inexperienced fighters who posed little challenge just 3 bouts earlier, he had gone the distance in a grueling 10-round match against UFC veteran Nate Diaz. Despite managing to knock down Diaz during that fight, Paul fell short of securing a knockout, ultimately prevailing only by unanimous decision. He said, "He wasn't able to finish Nate Diaz in a 10-round boxing match. I know Nate is very durable, and I would have to say I am just as, if not more durable than a Nate Diaz is. Nate's a smart guy. He fought the fight in a slower type of pace. I don't plan on doing that. I plan on bringing the pain to Jake." Perry mentioned that he planned to use a pressure style against Jake, akin to Mike Tyson's brawler style of boxing. He intended to get inside, slip side to side, and deliver straights, hooks, jabs, and body shots. His goal was to work on Jake's body, break down his sides, tire him out, and continuously apply pressure regardless of Jake's actions. Despite all of the chatter and forecasts Paul has made since the bout was revealed, Perry is steadfast in his beliefs about how the battle will proceed. Perry claims that even though Paul gets off to a great start, he will be the one to end the fight later. He said, "I said, 7th round knockout, TKO if you will. I'm looking to make Jake take a knee. Fall down, hit him hard. He's not going to stand still to let me land the best shot I can land. I have to time it. I have set it up. I have to put the pressure on him. I have to wear on him and break him down over time." Perry concluded that his strategy was to target Jake's body and the sides of his head, aiming to finish the fight by the 7th or 8th round. He emphasized the need to stop Jake by applying relentless pressure, overwhelming him, and forcing the referee to intervene and stop the fight. It appears that Mike Perry aims not only to hand the problem child his second professional boxing loss, but also to snatch away his Netflix fight deal with Tyson. With the impending showdown this weekend, Mike Perry disclosed his strategic motivation for squaring off against Jake Paul. While many speculate about the financial gains of battling the problem, the BKFC standout has set his sights on substantial earnings. Perry sees Netflix's backing as a game changer, envisioning a lucrative opportunity to rake in serious cash. Mike Perry hinted that if he were to knock Jake out, the Netflix deal involving Jake and Mike Tyson might lead to him being asked if he would like to fight Mike Tyson instead. If it meant earning a large salary, Perry would even put himself out there for Mike Tyson in order to make the 58-year-old icon seem good.
Myself, but I was gonna say, this Netflix deal with Mike Tyson, I feel like I knock Jake out and they'll be like, "Hey, do you want to fight Mike instead?" Just go in there. I'll go in there and let him punch on me a little bit, man. It might be painful, but maybe I'll try to give him a good old body shot. Fight Mike would be cool, man. If I could steal this whole thing from Jake and just it'd be me and Mike Tyson, it would just be more fitting. And then I would get yelled at for fighting the old guy, but I already everybody already saw me fight the old guy.
So pretty much this is your angle now. You're becoming the villain, right? At first, I looked at you as a hero.
Mike Perry further stated that he would be willing to let Mike Tyson punch him a bit, acknowledging it might be painful, but he would still try to land a good body shot on Tyson. Yet, in a more solemn tone, the undefeated bare-knuckle champion argues that stepping in for Jake Paul to face a combat sports icon such as Mike Tyson would offer fans a far more compelling spectacle than seeing a YouTube personality in the ring. Mike Perry added that fighting Mike Tyson would be cool, and that if he could take this opportunity from Jake, having it be just him and Tyson, it would feel more fitting. In the wake of doubts swirling around Mike Tyson's comeback following a recent health setback, critics have spared no jabs at Jake Paul for stepping into the ring. However, the YouTube sensation turned boxer fired back at his detractors in a recent interview. Jake Paul appears distinctly displeased with the ongoing scrutiny over age concerns surrounding his decision to face Mike Tyson in the ring. While critics dismiss the matchup as ill-advised, the former YouTuber turned boxer remains steadfast in his stance. Tensions flared during their initial press conference in May, exacerbated when a fan's inquiry about their age gap seemed to irk Tyson. Jake Paul stated on the Pat McAfee show, "I view it as, say it to Mike Tyson's face and see what he does to you." The one reporter who was discrediting him, he was about to jump over the press conference table and beat the dude. "We aren't Mike Tyson's dad. We don't control Mike Tyson. He's his own boss." Moreover, Jake Paul has acknowledged that by facing Mike Perry this weekend, he is putting his bout with Mike Tyson at danger. Paul was gearing up to face off against heavyweight icon Tyson in Texas this Saturday night, but the bout got postponed to November 15th due to Tyson's inflamed ulcer. Instead, he'll square off against former UFC star Perry, known for his prowess as one of the globe's top bare-knuckle fighters. And Paul acknowledges that by fighting Perry rather than waiting for Tyson to heal, he is risking the greatest fight of his career as well as his paycheck. Jake told DAZN, "Mike is the baddest man on the planet, one of the greatest heavyweights, if not the greatest heavyweight of all time. He has so much experience. I couldn't believe it. I was so happy, so focused, so one-track minded, then it just got pulled form underneath me. It was a lot to handle and it transitioned into something else." Jake mentioned that many people thought he was crazy for taking this risk and pivoting to fight Mike Perry. He acknowledged the potential consequences, including losing the biggest payday of his life against Mike Tyson if he were to lose to Perry, who he described as a violent killer and undefeated bare-knuckle legend. Jake also emphasized Perry's ability to take punches, his speed, athleticism, power, and brawling style, stating that he couldn't take him lightly. Despite the risks, Jake said he was focused on July 20th and on Perry, believing that maintaining this mindset would lead him to victory. He further added, "I need the experience. I need to stay active. I fear no man. I'm ready anytime, any place, anyone, and I truly back that up with my action. It's not just something I say. I'm here to become world champion. I've done everything else I wanted to do in boxing. I've exceeded my expectations, so that's my last goal. I will be the cruiserweight world champion." If he loses to Perry, the Tyson fight isn't going to happen. He said, "This whole entire thing is a giant risk. I'm focused on July 20th, I'm focused on Mike Perry, and just being in that mindset is what will lead me to victory." Make sure to check out some of our other videos on the screen if you enjoyed this one.